Access granted.
Hi everybody, this is Nick McCandless here of thegameraccess.com. I'm here with Horia Dociu, art director of Infamous Second Son. Now, Infamous Second Son takes place in Seattle. Why did you guys choose Seattle?
We chose Seattle because that's our hometown. We're in the Northwest, right there in Bellevue, 10 minutes from Seattle. And, you know, the franchise is always taking place in the United States. And we covered kind of the East Coast and the South. And we just thought, hey, why not do the Northwest? It's not been representing the games a whole lot. We definitely have a lot of potential with the power of the PlayStation 4 to add a whole lot more detail than we even dreamed of before. And so why not make reference gathering that much easier so we could just do it in our backyard? And that goes from everything from the typical, you know, kind of photo reference stuff like that, but to actually capturing the albedo numbers of the colors of brick and rusty metal in overcast times of day. You know, all that stuff was collected very meticulously and implemented into these brand new shader systems. And so just the amount of work it took, you know, it was kind of a convenience thing and sort of a love letter to our hometown.
Now, Infamous Second Son features a new lead character. What does the new character bring that is different from Cole McGrath?
So the reason we got, you know, kind of on a new path with a new hero was because we did check the trophy data and we saw that a lot of players played good, you know, and Cole is gone. And so that was actually quite refreshing because we said, hey, there's a new system. How do we play to its strengths and to the strengths of what we've done in the past, while at the same time giving ourselves the freedom to explore some new things, be they through karma, controls, the art, of course. And so, you know, the new hero brings kind of a new attitude and a new perspective on the series. And I think that he's much more of a character. He's kind of this badass rebel. He's whether you play, you know, kind of more heroically or kind of take a more sinister path, he still has his point of view. And I think for a player to really get into the mindset of being a superhuman, you know, for me, I would like turn myself into the cops or go home and sleep it off or something, you know. So right. So we chose to make Delsin have just a lot of personality and character so that you could have something that juxtaposes the story, you know, and the kind of the out there stuff that happens, you know, all of Seattle's put under martial law by this organization, you know, those kind of things. And again, in real life, maybe you or I might have, you know, kind of lame reactions, but Delsin embodies the spirit of the type of player you know, of the player playing the game. So the player loves getting new powers. The player loves kind of fast-paced action gameplay, loves making decisions, and that's exactly the personality we gave Delsin because we just felt it'd be a good one-to-one fit, I suppose.
Now, will we see any connections to the first Infamous or the second one?
We definitely took this as an opportunity to kind of have not a fully fresh start, but definitely a new perspective on the universe. And so it's absolutely in the same world. In fact, the scenarios in this game couldn't happen without Cole being there. It's all, you know, the whole world has repercussions from what happened with the Beast and all that stuff. I don't want to spoil too much about the other games. Go out and get them. But you know, I think it's a great place for new players to come into the series because, you know, it's not going to be bogged down by having to remember certain details or really specific characters. It's Delsin's story and his personality, his relationship with his brother, his dealing with the powers and kind of that fun origin stories that make superhumans, you know, kind of interesting. And then, you know, the world story of liberating the city from this kind of oppressive government rule that's completely against Delsin. So it's a totally new and interesting game story and world, and it's, you know, while related, I think it's an excellent place to start for a new gamer. New console, why not, you know?
Now, thanks to the power of the PlayStation 4, what has been able to be achieved with Infamous Second Son over the previous titles?
Oh man, so much. I think it's really beyond kind of what we thought was really possible. You know, early on we had set up kind of a test world to put in all the cool things that we thought would be neat to see. You know, puddles and wetness and rain and drops in the water and reflections of neon signs and all that stuff, and we made sort of a test world with all these gadgets in it, and it didn't necessarily run. You know, this is before we even had dev kits. We were just sort of putting kind of a pie in the sky vision out there, and we said, man, that would be awesome to do a game, but we'll never be able to make an open world game this good, and we'll never get it to perform and everything. But the studio kind of took that as a challenge, and we posted that and made that video and said, hey, let's shoot for this. And by having a lot of collaboration between art and programming, we were able to build the tools and the engine custom made for this game with specifically those those systems that we wanted in there. For example, you see smoke and laser. Each one of them looks like no other smoke you've seen in games before. He actually sort of departiculates or whatever. That's custom tech. We had that just for the smoke power. And then you see those awesome light trails behind the neon dash and stuff. We wanted to replicate kind of the image of light riding at night, or the streaks behind cars. And so again, all of that had to be made from scratch. And because it was made from scratch, it was really difficult. But luckily we got smart people, and because we were all on the same page and had these unified goals in mind, that's how we were able to achieve it. And on top of that, the PlayStation 4 is a sweetheart. It's amazing to work on. It's very liberating. It's very powerful, but it's also easy to get your hands on a lot of the horsepower right away. And I think that helped us kind of cut out a lot of the grind that would have eaten up a lot of our development cycle. So now, any corner of the game you stop at looks gorgeous, and then you can turn right around and run to the opposite end of the map, climb every building, you can go to every rooftop, grab onto windows, ledges, whatever, and it's all interactive and it's all gorgeous. So we're super proud of it.
Alright, and when can we expect Infamous Second Son to release?
March 21st, 2014. Pre-ordered. Get out there, it's awesome. I'm gonna buy it, so I don't have to wait for my free copy. I can't wait.
Alright, Horia, well, we definitely appreciate your time, and we're looking forward to Infamous Second Son.